I didn't get to be resilient because I went through it all. There were some things that I very intentionally did before I went through all that that allowed me to be resilient in the moment. Today I have 2.5 hours to try to give you a taste of what we can do with that. And I know today is focused on the self, so we're going to focus on the individual side. But when you get the book, you'll see that the first half of the book is about building individual resilience. The second is about how do you take that exact same skill set and framework and apply it to your team, which I think is the real power in all of this. But if we don't start with ourselves, that can really stall. So this is a great place to start. Life is a lot like a river, right? So as soon as you put a stake in the ground, you know, if you're whitewater rafting and you put a stake in the ground, the first thing that hits you is everything that goes against your stand, right? Everything's gonna try to push you off course. And that's kind of what happens when we're trying to build resilience. What I'm gonna present to you today is a framework that you can use to build intentional resilience in your own life and that of your team. And it's very similar to how the military prepares their people to kind of go into battle. When a crisis happens and bombs start falling or people start shooting, there's no time to worry about what are we going to do now, right? You have to have that training ahead of time so that when the crisis hits, everybody's on the same page, everybody knows what to do, and they jump into action. Characteristics of resilient people and organizations are the same, which meant that if the characteristics were the same, I could probably teach it the same way. So why does resilience matter? Today, I believe it is the single most important skill that leaders need today. Highly resilient people have more stress-resistant personalities. So they tend to not fall apart as much in a crisis. Now, I'm not going to say they never fall apart, they never slip, they never get stressed, but they tend to be better about that. They're better able to cope with adversity. Although resilience and coping are different, it does definitely impact your ability to cope because it changes how you think about adversity when it happens. And they tend to learn valuable lessons from going through tough experience. I would also say that highly resilient workers are better able to adjust to that ongoing, highly disruptive change that hits us. They're able to better adjust to a new way of thinking when the old way is no longer possible. This is why when we start talking about resilience, at least individually, it's edgy, it's in your face. It's about how who you are as a person shapes who you are as a leader. And this work is not easy, but it's important. So resilience is neither good or bad. It's merely the skill and the capacity to be, more robust under conditions of enormous stress and change. Life is Hard gives us a very down-to-earth point of view. And the interesting thing is that as soon as you expect things to be hard, they suddenly cease to be so hard. Here's the thing. When life is hard, resilience is a result of our mindset and the choices that we make. And underlying that is your core beliefs. Mindset, choices, and core beliefs. Your mindset is a function of your attitude and your authenticity, and your choices are a function of your purpose and your definition of success. You're 5 miles away from the shore, and you have your compass heading, and you're going right towards your destination, and you make a slight shift in the where you're aiming on your compass. How big is that shift when you get to the shore? It could be miles off course, right? But if you make just a slight shift here, the incremental results of people seeing a little bit of vulnerability is huge. It's enormous impact on your ability to really build trust and make it okay for people to tell you what they're thinking or tell you what they're feeling.